you and I, when we look at our story now, we go, God is so sovereign.
Yeah.
There was so much we were able to do. And I just want to make sure that I'm doubling down and like letting people hear it. While we were doing it, yeah, we were dreaming and expecting that we'd have a family. At times there was some frustration, but man, we were busy working and
Yes.
enjoying life. And I think we got a revelation early. And we spoke this out loud. It doesn't mean that we didn't ever struggle. I'm just saying, but we spoke this constantly to each other. It's like, I like this little line, like, if you're in a waiting season, do what waiters do. They serve.
That's great. Yeah.
They give. They love. We played host. We decided that we were going to be the best aunts and uncles we possibly could be.
Yes.
We were gonna show up to baby showers
Live.
with our
breathe.
head held high, smiling,
Yes.
and going to gender reveal parties and turning up, bringing gifts. And not with some motivation or in some intention that, God, look at us, but just go, man, life is beautiful and it's too short and too fragile to be upset about what we're missing out on. Of course we dreamed of having a family. But when I think about that word, it's like we got so much work done. We got to travel the world together. We got to preach the gospel all over the world. I think now, like, and this might be so dense and boring to people that are listening, but like we just came out of VUCon and like it was the most historic one we've ever done. We've been doing this for 14 years. And even right now, I think it's close to 2,000 people. You know what I mean? Like people are registered. I think they told me they think 1,500 by, so I'm just speaking 2,000 right now because I think when I walked out of this morning, it was at 12:50 and they said it's going to be 1,500 by the end of the day. So who knows? But a lot of people already registered. Like that's, in many ways, that's unthinkable.
Yeah.
But I just think about like the compound effect of just consistency and even how God's like orchestrated our church.
Yeah.
Like so much of our church's story, it's only looking back that like God allowed us to travel and other people that helped us, people that came along. And I just want to say to people that are like in a waiting season of any sort, like, man, if you have an expectation has other words that are attached to it. It's like there should be a declaration. Like you should worship in spite. You should be grateful in spite. There's an elimination factor. If I'm expecting something, there's like things that like, all right, like even as a pregnant mom, like you being pregnant, your appetite changes, what you're putting in your body changes because you have life on the inside of you. So when we have an expectation or a dream, like our life changes and adjusts to it. And I think the biggest thing that we do is we prepare.
Yeah.
Prepare to be a mom, prepare to be a dad. You can start mothering and fathering before you ever have physical children, because what was amazing was that when we found out that Wyatt was born, we got to have him, but we got to go back to Australia.
Yes.
You got to stand on that stage.
That's right.
Holding Wyatt and holding a Bible, and you got to be a visual aid of this prophecy that was given years before. And you did preach with the baby in one hand and a Bible in the other. We didn't know at the time that we'd have 1, 2, 3. No, we got 3 kids. But then the strangest thing comes and happens to us while we kind of think we're done having kids, that this thing takes place. And it's like, what in the world, God? Like, God's doing more than we could ever think or imagine.
Yeah.
And he's at work.
And what he whispers to you in the middle of, your midnight hour, you'll carry it for the rest of your life. Like it's just the most precious thing. So when you decide, okay, God, I'm not going to just keep banging my head up against the wall until I get what I want, but what do you want me to work on? Like, I don't want to pretend like it's some idealistic situation, like, oh, it's just so easy. No, it was a decision we made. We're not going to accept what everybody else says infertility looks like.
Mm-hmm.
We're not going to accept that it's going to be, a weight on our marriage, that it's going to pull us apart, that it's going to steal the joy and the pleasure of intimacy. We're not going to accept that. And then we're also not going to accept that our whole world has to revolve around it. I just want to speak to someone. That's a decision you can make with your spouse. You can decide to let your conversation go to other things instead of obsessing. And that work, that prophecy or that word that I read about, I knew that, God, there is work here. And I think that our lives are a daily surrender of what do you want me to work on?